associations may be disorganized, and time and space relationships are lost.
Hello, people. Welcome to the Hippy Speedball Podcast, the best cannabis fucking podcast in the whole world. It is Joe, your host with the most, Joe. And, of course, I am joined by my heterosexual life mate, Shelby. Shelby, how the fuck you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How we feeling today, bro?
Pretty good. Yeah, nice and rested. You told me we're supposed to start at 10, but then it started at 11, so I got a little sleep in time.
Yeah, for sure. I somehow, I think just my brain was just like, yeah, 10, because naturally we always set up early, we blaze up before they show up, but we get a little too baked before we start sometimes. So I was like, maybe we should just smoke less and just hit the bong and not smoke like 2 blunts before the guest even shows up.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. But I do like that we have the reputation that like no matter what, like you're going to get high when you come to the house. Like I do like that we have that rep, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
It makes it really good, man. So before we get going, there's a couple things I wanted to say about the last episode of the Hippy Speedball Podcast with Spencer Boston. Spencer, that was a great fucking episode. I really appreciate it. Shout out to him and check it out, anybody who hasn't seen it yet. So there was a couple things that I wanted to clarify, and it made me cringe when I was listening to it and watching myself. So first off, that Aerosmith story that I was talking about, how Aerosmith ended up crashing their plane on the runway. That was a story I had read in a Guitar World magazine back in like 2005, 2006, 2007, somewhere in that range when I was like a young guitar player. And it was a little article about it, and I had read the story. I tried to find something online about it and couldn't find dick. And it's really pissing me off. So if anybody has a link to that story or any sort of knowledge on that, or maybe if I'm wrong about it, please leave a comment, send a link, or even just shoot us a message at Hippy Speedball Podcast on Instagram. So that way we can get a little bit of clarification, because I fucking hate it when I say something and I'm like, oh God, fuck, I don't know. Like, I want to figure out if I'm 100%, and I tried to find something and I couldn't, but I swear to God, I read it in the Guitar World magazine way back in the day. So I wanted to clarify about that, and also apologize for looking like such a dumb stoner whenever we were talking about the XXL freshman class. And I was all like, got Lupe Fiasco off by like 4 years. And so I just want to apologize for looking like such a dumbass. So my bad, people. You don't deserve that sort of nonsense. We're trying to make weed look awesome. And they're like, look at this dumb stoner over here. He's all like, he pays attention to XXL freshman class, and he's all saying Lupe Fiasco came out with fucking Kendrick Lamar. I know I look like a moron. I'm sorry about that, people. So, but mi dispiace for all my Italian listeners out there. So let's get this fucking ball rolling. Today on the episode, I got a really fucking awesome special guest, because she has actually been a huge supporter of the show for a really long time. She's one of the main reasons why we're actually playing in dispensaries and why we're kind of, popping up all over the radar in different places. And she has a really, really great story about her journey with, using cannabis as medicine with regards to a very deadly disease that she had. I'm going to go ahead and tell her story. So please welcome to the Hippy Speedball Podcast, Tami. Tami, thanks for fucking coming through, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I've never really gotten to tell a lot of people at once. I'm actually kind of a shy person, so I don't have a lot of friends. And when I do, I don't talk a whole lot because I don't feel like people are listening.
Okay.
But so this is actually really cool. Thank you.
And I'm so glad to fucking have you here, dude, because you were, one of my favorite bud tenders whenever I was going to the shop. Every time I saw you at the desk, I was like, oh, what up? It's Tami.
Yeah.
And I always knew that when you were working, I was going to walk in and see my fucking shit playing on the TV.
Of course.
And that was always one of the coolest feelings, because I've, being someone that's been in the shadows for so freaking long, I would walk in the shop and then I'm looking over and I see 3-4 people in the lobby, and they're sitting there watching me on TV.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just in a bandana, just with my face covered like this.
And you don't even know how many times people would be looking up and hey, I know that guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, you do, right on.
Yeah. I get some people that have not talked to me in fucking years, and I mean years, and they'll randomly
right
message me, and they'll be like, dude, I just saw you in the dispensary. And I'm like, oh yeah, I got this show now. And they're like, oh buddy, you're famous. And I'm like, not really, but I appreciate you saying that, But it's pretty cool to be seen in the shops and everything. And I got recognized in IHOP. That was really interesting with Juniper. It made me feel like a little rock star in front of my daughter. It's that was awesome. Someone's phone.
Yeah.
What was
Mine.
that? Was that yours? Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Do we need to silence our phones real quick? My bad. Oh, my bad. I think mine's actually needs to be silenced, too.
Mine's over there.
There we go. Silence! There we go.
I know.
All right. But sometimes, can you grab her phone?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, brother.
It's in the back pocket of my purse, sitting right there on the chair.
Yeah.
Sorry about
There you
that.
go. It's all good. It's all good. No problem. But yeah, so like there's been times I walk in there and I'll see them watching the TV and like it's so funny because then like the bud tender that's working, and you've done this too, like to wherever it's like the people are watching and I'm looking at the people looking at the TV and I look over at you and you're kind of just like,
Yeah.
like I just like I give you the look like, don't you fucking say anything, don't you say shit right now. I like that I could walk around with my face covered. Actually, this mask thing is working really well to my advantage.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, it helps with my resting bitch face.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, I have been told that my face tells everything. Like if I am displeased with somebody, yeah. So
I've been told that about myself too. It's, I was a friend of mine told me he's one of my gay homies. His name is Jax, but he said the funniest fucking comeback because he said that he had resting bitch face, and I was just like, well, wouldn't you have more like resting dick face since you're a guy? And he was just like, I don't know, is there a dick in my mouth? I was like, too goddamn shit, Jax.
Yes, that's awesome.
That was one of the greatest responses to a question I've ever fucking asked in my life.
Yes.
It's like, I don't know, Joe, is there a dick in my mouth? It's like,
Oh, God, yeah.
you got me, but I got nothing. So I just walk away from the computer at that point.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Oh God, that's great. So let's go ahead and jump into this. So you have a crazy fucking story.
Yeah.
And you have a really awesome journey with cannabis. And you know, one thing that we always do on the show is we love to pay homage to the medicinal side of cannabis because,
Yes.
you know, the OMMP is where everything started. If it wasn't for the OMMP, then rec wouldn't exist.
Yes.
And that's something I've believed since it got legalized. I'm like, well, let's not forget about patient priority, you know?
And me too, because the first thing I remember voting on was medicinal cannabis back, what is it, 90s?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I was gone for a long time. I left very shortly after that. But yeah, so, you know, I was always for it because I knew that there was science behind it.
Yes, exactly.
You know, and of course I, always leaned towards it because I was, the occasional pothead and, smoked a lot of weed and everything. And, I think I, at that time, really half-assed thought it was medicine.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I knew there was potential. And then it wasn't really until I took my first dab that I realized it was medicine. Because for 1 minute in my life, like, suddenly I had no pain anywhere. Mm-hmm. And it was the most amazing feeling in the world because, like, I had childhood arthritis and stupid stuff like that. So I've always had discomfort
so that's
in my
what
body.
I wanted to jump into. So let's go ahead and jump in your. So let's jump into your history with pain and tell me about like your medical history. And...
So I guess it was 8.5, almost 9 years ago. I was diagnosed with stage 3 ovarian cancer, and. I was in a bad relationship. That actually gave me the strength to leave that bad relationship.
How did that feel when they diagnosed you? When they told you, like when you received that news?
A death sentence.
Yeah, just straight up like the gas chamber.
Yeah, really, because I had a baby sister when I was younger who died of cancer, so I watched her battle, and just the hell she had to go through, the chemo and the radiation, and. I'm not as strong as her because she did it with a freaking smile on her face. So I'll tell you that right now. Like, no, I'm not that strong.
Yeah, it was probably really fucking tough.
That was freaking terrifying, the thought of having to go through any of that. And then deciding that time in my life that I was going to leave a horrible relationship. So I was basically alone in the world. Like, I don't really have any family or anything like that. I have a daughter and stuff, but, my world was pretty small. So I was like, sitting there, and I really kept it to myself for a long time. And then I decided it was time for me to come back here because I do have a kind of an estranged sister and everything. And my daughter was coming out of Job Corps, so I wanted to be closer to her. And but I really didn't tell them. I kept it to myself. And I kind of reunited with a crush from my younger years, which is now my husband.
Aww.
And it was pretty cool because he looked at me one day and said that I wasn't going to have to go do this alone. And I didn't. And he was my rock through it in a lot of ways. And he pushed me and kicked me in my butt when I was feeling sorry for myself. And, I don't think I could have done any of it without him. Like, he was there every step of the way. And so one day he comes back and he tells me about RSO, This is still Prohibition days, you know.
And so let's educate the people what RSO is. Sorry.
Rick Simpson oil, or full extract cannabis oil. And at that time, I was like, well, what are you talking about? And he starts trying to tell me what little bit he knew. So, of course, you know, I am the Google queen. So Google it was. And then it was
Jamie,
watching
these
videos and then watching other videos and seeing these testimonies and these people. And I'm like, whoa, this might work. And that's far less scary. But at the same time, you know, I was smoking as much weed as I could at the time, trying to deal with the pain I was dealing with and, you know, the lack of appetite and all those symptoms. And I wasn't getting the relief. So at that time, I was still on the fence about it. Like, yeah, they're saying it's going to work, but I'm not getting any relief from this cannabis I'm trying to shove down my body.
Yeah. You didn't realize that it had the
concentration.
Exactly.
Of it.
You didn't realize that it had the actual like amount that was in there. Because, I mean, for the people that don't know, RSO was kind of one of the really like first real concentrates other than hash. I mean, other than hash, like from way back in the day. Like, but I mean, and as to my knowledge, it was really one of the first real actual concentrates because of the way he made it. Yeah. You know, it's like he would extract.
Well, I mean, there was honey oil back in the day. Back in the day.
Honey oil. Okay.
Yeah, I can't even say the year. I'm a stoner. I'm going to get it wrong. Okay. But I do know in my dad's...
Can you pull that up, man? Can you see when honey oil first came out?
Yeah, in my dad's generation, and it used a special bong that actually you would dip a nail in it or a needle type deal. Okay. And then stick it on the bong, and then you would smoke it like that. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Is that what they would put in the...
and it was made similar.
I've heard lots of stories of Thai sticks, but I don't know actual like what they are.
Oh, they were gone before my time.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
My dad did time in Leavenworth for those.
Oh, really? Oh,
yes.
Wow. That's crazy.
My dad had a very interesting life. But, yeah. So, anyway, you know, I find out about all this stuff, so I start researching it. Well, not too long after that, we go camping. And I'm refusing medical treatment. I'm in serious pain, and I'm finding any way other than going to the doctor, because you're not going to force me to do these things. I'm scared to death. This isn't my, you know, you're not going to make this decision for me, you know. So I was avoiding doctors, and then we went camping, and we just so happened to be camping next to these kids, and we went over because we had a bunch of weed, saying, hey, you guys smoke weed, right? You know, you're not going to narc on us for smoking weed
you
here.
Guys cool?
Yeah, cool? And they're like, hey, you want a dab? And I'm like, well, fuck yeah. I didn't know what the hell it was. But I kept hearing about dabs. And my husband had dabs and everything. And so these kids had some stuff, you know, back in Prohibition days. So it was really potent. Like the numbers on it said, I swear in the 90s. Like, I don't know, but I swear. Like,
yeah, it says that hash oils have been around since the 19th century. And they became pretty popular in the 1970s.
Okay. So that would have been right before I was born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that it was around for that long.
Yeah.
I knew like cannabis has been, but not.
People were known to blow themselves up because it was a similar process as extracting now.
Exactly, because you had to use the butane,
and they still use the tubes and all that.
It was in a fucking pressure cooker, so you would blow up your fucking house if you did it wrong. And then, unfortunately, everybody would think that you had like a meth lab when you were just trying to make some fucking RSO. That'd be tragic.
Yeah,
it would be tragic.
So these kids gave me my first dab, and like it was funny because my husband who had taken please.
I'm gonna wait for you to tell the story so we can let the people know what we're smoking.
Had taken a dab right before me, and he's coughing his ass off like over in the woods, and you know he's not taking it like a champ. Let's just say that. And I sit there and I take my first dab ever, and he said it was giant. Now, granted, I coughed my ass off, and I stood up and I looked at my stepson, and I was like, dude, what are we gonna do? Like, let's go. You know, like. Almost crackhead status because my body felt so freaking good. Like I didn't feel stoned, like I wanted to pass out. Like it was instant relief. And then after that, awesome. Like I got on it. But at that time in our life, like we were like down and out. Like let's spark that.
Okay, cool. So you brought a fucking little goodie. This was actually the first place High Times winner in the, I'm guessing, Cannabis Cup, right?
Yeah.
I'm guessing Cannabis. Okay. I don't want to say it wrong, actually. People's Choice Award. The Ghost Train Hayes. Ooh. From Decibel Louds.
And they also won, I think, first place in Oregon Growers Cup, too.
No shit.
I think they took first place in that
Decibel Louds? That's
Decibel Farms.
Decibel Farms? Oh, okay. It says Decibel. Okay, gotcha. Decibel Farms. Well, shout out Decibel Farms. And it looks like this is actually rolled up in a little bit of a little bit of goodies too.
Yeah, I got that from West Premium Cannabis this morning, and Bree and Matt helped me. They help me usually on Sunday mornings.
Shout out to Bree and Matt. Thanks a lot.
They've
That's
been
fucking
awesome.
dope. Here, you go ahead and spark
Awesome
that up.
pre-roll deals.
Awesome. Hell yeah. There you go. I popped over to there a couple times. I haven't been in there in a long fucking time.
They've gotten better.
Okay, cool. That's what's up. I didn't know reason. I hadn't been in there in forever. I had done some events there when I worked for Northwest Kind back in the day. They were always really cool about me setting up shop in there, and I'd bullshit with the bud tenders all the fucking time. They even invited me out for a drink one time. They were like, "Hey, we're gonna go over to Midway," and I was like, "I gotta go home." And I was just like, "But that sounds like fun. I appreciate it. I feel like a cool kid for once. That feels cool from someone who got bullied and as a really small kid, not high school." But anyway, let's go ahead and continue.
Oh yeah, so we were at a low point in our life. We were both starting over from scratch. So, we were houseless. We weren't homeless, but we were houseless and stuff. And so I'm learning that this is going to be good medicine for me, but I have no freaking way to get it because it's too gosh darn expensive in the dispensaries when they first went to rec. And, I didn't have my own home to grow. So I literally was asking people for material. And as soon as it went legal, I even went so far as to go on Craigslist and ask people if they had stuff that they were going to throw away, if they would donate it to me because I wanted to make this medicine. And I actually got a lot of people to donate it to me. Ran out as second I had enough and got some Everclear and made this stuff. But where Mr. Rick Simpson said, you start off with a grain of rice, I was like, no, I'm going, full bore, like I'm getting as much as this stuff in me as fast as I can because it seemed like that was the right thing to do, watching all of the videos and everything else.
Yeah, well, you want to take it in its more concentrated form,
Yes.
because otherwise you'll just smoke and smoke and smoke and smoke and smoke.
And also, I have to just say that it does say to do this before chemo and radiation and all these other things that start to kill your body, So since I was before all that, if anything, I kind of went into it with the mindset that it would help my symptoms, if anything. And every time I walked by the fridge, because I kept it in the fridge, in the fridge, so it would stay nice and hard, I could break a chunk off.
Okay.
And then every time I walked by it, like I was taking a chunk and eating it and sucking on it and sticking on gummy bear or whatever, like constantly until my eyes were burning and I could barely keep them open and all I wanted to do was go to sleep. So, I know for a fact it was over grams a day by the time I was done. And I did this for months straight. More material kept falling in my lap. My husband was working his butt off and getting me more stuff. And like literally weekly, I was making grams of RSO and just eating it as fast as I could. And then I would think it was about 6 months later, I finally went in for new scans because they found another funky tumor in my body. So I go in for these scans for this other funky tumor and find out that my tumor on my ovary is gone. It's gone. Like, it's not there anymore. Like, they had pictures from before where it was there and now, and it's not there anymore. Like, yeah. And
That's
it was a big
crazy.
tumor. Like, I was very swollen, like, in my abdomen.
How was their reaction when they looked at it and saw that it wasn't there?
They didn't believe me. They really discredited me. They really, kind of set it aside. Like, oh, you probably just went to another doctor or something. And, they really just kind of ignored me. But every time, even to this day, I go in, I don't want drugs.
It goes to her, not me.
I'm trying to say
I've got my own medicine.
I'm so sorry.
But yeah, the other funky tumor ended up being benign, no big deal. And, me and my husband sitting there on pins and needles. And I did end up having the parts removed. I had an oophorectomy, I think it was like 2 years ago now. And so I have no fear of it coming back. It's gone. But
Fucking
yeah.
A.
Yeah. At that time, I wasn't ready for all that. I was still at a breeding age, so to speak, in my life. And I still had that biological clock ticking. So the thought of losing my woman part, so to speak, was almost as terrifying too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I'm not a woman anymore. I can't make kids. Like, I know how stupid that is.
No, that's
but
not stupid
think
at
of
all.
breast cancer survivors. I'm not a woman anymore. I don't have breasts. Yeah. So I do believe it's along the same lines.
Well, yeah, for sure.
It's
Well, I mean, I could
psychological thing.
It's an evolutionary thing,
Yeah.
Like, so, I could imagine. I know people that have had freaking who have had hysterectomies and who have had procedures and like that can't have kids, and like, and it's devastating. Like
Yeah.
that. I mean, that's a big thing for
It is.
especially for a person who wants kids. Like, I mean, I guess if you didn't, then if you're just kind of like, oh, whatever, cool, then I didn't want kids anyway, you know. But
then the hormonal reality is we do kind of turn into men, and that's like really depressing.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that too. Like,
We have nothing to look forward to.
yeah, I didn't even think about that. Actually, that would freaking actually affect your everything that freaking goes on. So
yeah.
I mean, like, so I mean, what did you do after that? So you went in, you got the scans, and you're like, holy shit, it's gone.
Yeah.
So what?
And I really talked to the doctor and stuff, but I mean, I was on OHP. They weren't really listening to me.
Yeah.
You know, I
For
don't
those
know.
out of state, or OHP is the Oregon Health Plan. So it's the state level, you know, government health.
I mean, they were sending me to
insurance.
horrible doctors at the time that were giving me these horrible drugs when all I needed was vitamin D.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, their credit was out the door. So I did definitely change from
So
that,
when-
and I go to a naturopath now, 100%.
Okay, nice. So
Yeah.
when they diagnosed you, did they like, they weren't like, hey, let's start this right now, or were they just kind of like, do you want to start this? And you were like, nah, let me try it my own way first.
They were like, well, we need to start this, and I think I was in shock.
Okay.
To be honest, I think I was in shock, and I don't think I heard much of what they said. And I left, and I actually ended up leaving that state very shortly afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which was a wonderful thing.
Okay.
But yeah, and I did some soul searching and was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and it was just really odd.
Mm-hmm.
Really odd. I confided in my puppy a lot.
Okay.
I did. My dog. She's my girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so
I
like,
didn't want sympathy. I think that's what it was. I didn't want to tell anybody because I didn't want those looks.
okay, which is why you kept quiet into it until
Yeah.
now. Like you just kind of like kept
Yeah.
it really under wraps.
If anybody asks, I shout it from the mountaintops. Like, I've got a good friend battling cancer right now, and God, she's so strong. She's been battling it for a long time, and it's just like at stay. Yeah, she's a fellow grandma. We share a grandson.
Nice.
Yes,
Nice.
I love
That's
her.
awesome.
And I'm always trying to make medicine that makes her feel better.
That's good.
You know, that's been a big goal of mine. And
Mm-hmm.
COVID really sucks because I can't go visit her and everything because I'm afraid that what if I have a germ I don't know?
Yeah.
And so I'm probably more paranoid than she is about it. But
Oh, okay, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if you know that. I don't know now because it's been a while, and technology changes all the time. But ovarian cancer is not usually detected in blood work. And it's the silent killer of women because it goes undetected and untreated because we don't even know we have it.
That's crazy.
Like, it was my.
Where does it get detected at?
It was they did imaging because I was having so much pain because my tumor was so big that it was pushing on other areas of other organs in my body.
Oh, okay. So they
So-
did like a scan of it and then found
because
it that
I was
way.
extremely persistent. Like, no, there's something wrong in there. Like, I was looking like a pregnant woman in my lower abdomen, like I was having a low pregnancy.
Yeah.
You know, I was having that much bloating. I was like, this isn't right. Like, what are you talking about? You know, and they're trying to give me antacids and gas pills and everything. And I was really persistent and finally got them to do imaging, and they saw the tumor right away. Like, it was
Thank God you were
bigger than my
persistent.
ovary. Yeah.
That's so weird. They were almost like, it seems like they were trying to like gaslight you without doing the imaging. If you had to be persistent about it, they were almost just like, nah, you're tripping. It's all good. Like, you know, you're fine. And then
Well,
shit
one
like
of
that.
the
You're like, no,
downfalls-
dude, I don't think I am actually. A homegirl of mine's fighting that right now with fibromyalgia. Like, she's battling it right now, and there's some people that are fucking like trying to like gaslight her with different conditions that she has and stuff like that. And she's like, no. And it's crazy because she's lost a shitload of weight.
Is she young?
Yeah, she's like my age. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and she's actually only a year younger than me. So
We don't know what we're talking about. You know, and it's really funny because they still treat me that way, even though I'm older than half the doctors I see. Mm-hmm. And they don't realize it until they look down and like, oh. I'm like, dude, I've been dealing with my body a lot longer than you've been practicing medicine.
Right.
I promise you're not much older than my little girl.
right, yeah. Well, and also it's like, you know yourself. You
Yeah.
know? It's like, I mean,
And they'll still treat you like you're seeking drugs, like pills. And I that's the first thing I say. I don't want your shit. I want you to tell me what's wrong.
Especially back in the day when it came to cannabis. A lot of people don't realize you had to go to special doctors. Like remember the Hemp and Cannabis Foundation?
Yeah.
Like that was how I know so many people that got their med cards was only because of the THCF, you know? Like, and they freaking, which is amazing that their initials were THCF. Like,
that's
super
awesome.
fucking cool. The Hemp and Cannabis Foundation, THCF. But when I was looking into getting my medical card, that's where I was always fucking referred to because they had doctors there that were cannabis friendly. And for those that don't know, that was a rare thing back in the day. Like that was a really taboo thing for a doctor to be cool with weed.
Oh yeah.
You know, like, I mean, unless you had like, you know, you told them that you did smoke weed because then they generally didn't care because it was just like, oh, okay, whatever. That's just cannabis. Like we don't care about that. But they technically had to do something about it, you know? Yeah.
That's the first thing they when they're going through my chart. Oh, you smoke cannabis still? Of course I do.
Of
course I do.
I'm an Oregonian.
I'm smiling, aren't I?
Right? I'm fucking living in Oregon. Of course I fucking use cannabis. Duh.
But yeah, it's been an amazing journey and everything. But, you know, I've also been really sad about how the cannabis industry is going. Like, I don't know about the medical days. I wasn't here. I hear the stories from people I do know that helped pave the way. And, you know, their disappointment in the change. And me, just with common sense, knew that it was going to be bad when people started making money.
Yeah, and then we talk about that a lot here on the podcast. I mean,
I know.
Like I said, hanging out, like paying homage to the OMMP is like such a freaking important thing, you know. And if it wasn't for the medical marijuana programs, and I hate using the M word, that's why I always use cannabis. But for those that don't know, look up the history behind the word marijuana. I'm not going to educate you now, but the medical marijuana programs, like if it wasn't for them, like I said, we wouldn't have rec. And then you have these people that were the same doctors that would have said no to them are now saying, well, there's a lot of money in this marijuana cannabis stuff. This whole industry seems like it's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and put some money down into it. And then boom, now they have a say in how shit runs when they were the same ones that would have arrested us.
Yeah.
It's like there should be some sort of like vetting process to be like, where were you when the battle was fought? You know, before this happened, where were you? Were you in the trenches?
Yeah.
Or were you over there in the high tower shooting down at us?
My other question is, did you ever smoke? Or is your experience with marijuana stuff that you read in books or heard from friends?
Yeah.
Because I'm good.
You good? Okay.
Yeah. Some of these people, I swear, like who decides the dosing?
Yeah.
People can't heal themselves. And, you know, working in a dispensary, I watch cancer patients in pain. And I'm a very empathetic person, so it really broke my heart. Like one time, I teared up, man, and I'm watching her try to get edibles, and I know damn well this is going to do nothing for her. And she's trying and grasping for marijuana to help her, and there's nothing I can freaking do about it. You know, like I can't sit there and offer her stuff that I can make in my own kitchen for, but you know. It's stupid.
I know, and it
We've
sucks.
taken the medicine out of it,
Yeah,
and then
for
it's
sure.
THC driven.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I was going to say next. And it's like, not only are you not able to help out a patient, because you can't even give medical advice.
Yes,
like you're not even allowed to do that. You can only be like, well, when I was doing this, you know, it's like, see, luckily for you, you can help a cancer patient because you're like, well, I had cancer, and when I did it, I was using this.
Yes.
So like, that's exactly what you could say. But like, you know, you're not allowed to do that. You know, not allowed to give medical advice. But yeah, like you were saying, the THC part is something that's just like, oh God, like we try to educate people so much here on the show that is how little THC.
Oh my God, it's so annoying.
Really, it means something. It does. It does. Hey, Jinx. Like
it's the entourage effect, though.
Yes,
exactly.
thank you.
Exactly. It's the entourage effect. You need everything. You know, it's like think of it like a band, and like, you know, it's like the THC is really just like the bass player. But if it's not working with the CBD, who's the drummer, it's not gonna function right, you know. And then if you don't have these other ones who are the guitar players and the singers and the other instrumentals, now you have this beautiful thing that your body is consuming, you know, rather than like these little chunks.
So something else from my own experience was back when I was in Prohibition days and I didn't know why something, or medical days, and I'd see that there was CBN and CBG and CBC in there, and it made me feel better. But when I Google it and research it, there's no reason that they tell me why. And now suddenly there's getting to be research. And it's because it's better than CBD. And we've hyped up all this CBD, and CBG and CBN are far better. And they have more cancer fighting.
Yeah.
They're more neuroprotectants, better anti-inflammatory.
Well, they're really like the medicinal things like that
Yeah.
are in there. You know, it's like the THC is the psychoactive, but everything else is what's doing it. It's like
but you put those things back in, like you take some of those edibles or something that are the 1-to-1-to-1-to-1, and it's like you get such a better effect.
Oh, for sure. Anything that's full spectrum,
Yes.
anything that's full spectrum is phenomenal. That's why like I always ask about edibles in the shops. Like I was like, what's the most full spectrum edibles you guys have?
Yes.
Because I always get that look from bud tenders too. They're like, I like this fucking guy.
Yeah.
Because like that's how you get the real strong edibles. Is like when
Yeah.
you get that, because like you could take one weed, you can take the one strain that's like, you know, like 16% THC, and then you could smoke one that's like 32% THC, and
Yeah.
it, like, and that 16% will get you more stoned.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I show
got
this to
better
people.
terps and
I'll show
all
this.
kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I'll show this to people all the time. I'll have two different buds, and I'm like, which one do you think has the most THC?
Yeah.
And they'll always pick the one that just, you know, like might like look the prettiest or something like that. But I'm like,
Exactly.
no, it's actually this one over here.
Yeah.
You know, and like, and then I'm like, yep, yeah. And it's like, you would rather smoke this one, which actually has less, and I guarantee this is going to get you more stoned.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, that's why you'll still
Same
see
thing
top
being
shelf.
a bud tender.
Yeah.
They don't listen to you.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
look at that number.
They don't.
Exactly. No. What do we know? We only
I
worked
know.
with weed.
Yeah.
I know.
No, I need that 32%. That's like the way I compare that. It's like walking into a liquor store and being like, I have to have 100% alcohol.
Right.
I can't
Yeah.
have anything
I
less.
only
Yeah.
drink Everclear.
Yes.
Yummy.
Oh God. Ugh. But yeah, you're totally right, man. It's like you can't walk into a liquor store and be like, oh yeah, I only want to drink 100% alcohol.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like I've had, you know, a lot of the booze I drink is usually only like 35 to 40% anyway. So
Yeah,
it's
no
like
kidding.
I don't get really super strong stuff, but I'm also a little bit of a whiskey gal, so I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to my booze. I worked at a distillery. Oh yeah, for sure. And that is a really frustrating thing with the THC thing. It's just like people just
Yes.
listen. Just it's not that fucking huge of a deal with THC.
No.
God damn it, get out of it. And you're only feeding into the fucking, I hate to use such a cliche word, but the you know, the capitalization of cannabis, you know,
Yes.
it's like, and it should be in a controlled capitalizing way, but it's not. There's not
Yeah.
going to be a cap. There's not going to be a control.
No.
And it's only going to be, well, we have the highest THC. No, we have the higher THC. And then
Yeah.
pretty soon
We have the
flowers out of the
best deal.
picture. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's becoming way too cutthroat, you know?
Yeah.
That's why it breaks my heart when I see my old mom and pop fucking weed shops turn into fucking chains now.
Yeah.
It really bums me out. And what really bums me more is that, you know, whenever a chain or something like that gets bought and it doesn't change the name of the person who bought it, that
Yeah.
really sucks, because a lot of people don't realize there's a bit of that going on right now in the weed industry too.
Yeah.
There's certain companies that are buying up chains and not changing the name and not
Yes.
realizing that it's one monopoly that actually owns like 5 or 6 different chains, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a couple different companies in multiple states too. Like this is happening all over the place. A homeboy of mine over in Michigan was educating me about it, and a homeboy of mine over in freaking Florida, I look at his videos on Instagram, and he was showing me some of the dispensaries that are in there, and they
Yeah.
look like, a lot of them look like just like labs, or like have that really old, like everything's like white, like, you know, everything's like really, really like super like clean. It almost looks like
Yeah.
like, you know, and I don't know, it looks too much like a pharmacy. It's like, it's a medicine, but don't make it look so much like a lab when
Yeah.
you walk in, you know.
I went to this one dispensary in Weed, California, and it was so weird. I really felt like at any moment, like I was going to get patted down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was small, like the security guards, like giant and like almost in your face, and the other guy's like, "Wait right there." And
Oh, shit.
the fuck?
Like,
okay,
what kind of
dude,
customers
I
did y'all get
just
in
want
here?
some pre-rolls. I'm in weed, I'm in weed. I gotta get some weed.
Right? Exactly.
This
Exactly.
is for a moment trip. I didn't bring anything.
Gizmo, no. Yeah.
Hi.
Fucking Gizmo. The studio cat always got to interrupt some part of the episode. He's already been in here once. It's okay.
I know.
Come
I've
on,
been
bud.
looking around for
Come on.
him. He's a cutie pie.
Yeah, he'll come up when he decides.
But yeah, it was
As soon as I
definitely
ignore him, he'll come on my
eye-opening going around. And when we went to California and then over into Nevada, and of course, anytime I saw a dispensary, I stopped because it's,
Of course. Yeah.
you have to.
Of course.
You
Yeah.
know?
You're like, ooh, weed shop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So of course we
definitely.
did, and everywhere it was just so different. And weed shops are so scarce out of Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Like California, you would think would be weed shops. No, there ain't no weed shops. It is so hard to find weed
Oregon,
shops.
like when we first like became rec, it's kind of a problem like we were talking about earlier in the podcast. Whenever you have the wrong eyes and the wrong people coming in, but like whenever we first became rec, they really just opened the floodgates and they were just like, open a shop, just be like X distance from this shop and then just be X distance from a school. You know, like that was really the only two things. And if you could afford the license and you could afford the shop, you could get the fucking shop. You know, like, and it was like that. But then they eventually had to put the cap on the license and be like, hold up. We have more dispensaries than we do Starbucks right now. And like we actually, which was a real fact at one point, we actually did have more dispensaries than we did fucking Starbucks in Oregon.
I was going to say, I read an article in like 2016 that was saying we're about to surpass Starbucks with dispensary locations.
Yeah, we did too. We fucking did. And I was like, of course we would, you know, it's like, of course Oregon would be that fucking, that state. Because I mean, Oregon's been down with weed for a very, very, very long time. We were the first state to decriminalize in the 70s, and we fucking have been on this for a long time. Nope, there's Gizmo. He's going to pop in one of our laps as soon as we ignore him. That's it. You'll call him up, he'll tell you go fuck yourself. You start ignoring him.
Oh, of course,
yeah, but that's crazy. So one thing, as you know, you're a big fan of the show. I want to transition to this real quick. We always like to get from everybody. So tell me your first time you ever got stoned.
Oh, my first time I ever got stoned. Okay. It was actually the 6th grade, and I was super nervous about...
Earliest age on the show so far.
That's what my age is.
6th grade? Was your 6th grade too?
Yeah.
Okay, well, how old were you?
13.
13?
Yeah, I was like 12 or 13.
12 or 13.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I was a year behind. I had a crazy childhood, but anyway. Yeah,
I could go into months, but we're not going to go that far. It's all good. Let's just
so I was 12 or 13, and... over by my school, there was some woods, and I skipped out during lunch, and some older kids were back there smoking pot, and I was really nervous about this test. And these, like, 7th, 8th graders, like, here. And I'm like, all right, fuck it. You know, so, you know, I wasn't strange to pot. Like, I remember when I was a kid, my parents smoking pot so it wasn't...
The cool upperclassmen of the middle school peer pressure you to come over.
So I went over there and I got
under the bleachers, kid.
and I relaxed and I aced my test, and I'd have to say I started self-medicating ever since.
Fucking A, that's awesome. That's so cool that you like got high and aced your test. That's awesome.
Yeah, it helped a lot because I have anxiety. I can't do public speaking, like crowds and stuff, and test anxiety, like. Even taking my driver's license, the most terrifying thing was somebody sitting in the car judging me.
It's nerve-wracking. I'm a great driver, too. Yeah. Like, I'm a fucking phenomenal driver. Yeah. And it's very nerve-wracking to have someone just sitting there and marking notes. And they're like, don't worry about what I'm doing. And I'm like, go to hell.
Yeah.
Like, that was awesome. But I knew I was doing good when I didn't see her mark a single thing. Like during the whole fucking test, so I knew I was doing all right. And I didn't get my license until I was 23. Like, I actually didn't get my driver's license until late age. And it was only because I just didn't have anybody that would let me use their car. That's all I needed. I was just like, just let me get used to your car. It's not like I needed to learn how to drive. I learned how to drive when I was like 9. But, like, I never driven a lot of cars, you know? And so I just needed somebody. Shout out to Misty, who's the one that painted that Batman painting right there. She finally was like, yo, Joe, I'm going to help you get your license. And I'm like, are you fucking sure? Because I've been told this before. And they bail out whenever they're like, hey, let me drive your car today. And they're like, no, I'm busy. I got shit to do. And she's like, no, we're going to do it. And then within 3 months of living with her, had my fucking license. I was like, that's all I needed. That's all I needed. Just give me your goddamn car for a little while. Yeah.
I accidentally got my license. I've never taken a driving test.
You're one of those loophole licensees.
I went in for my permit, and I guess because of my age, they printed out a license. And I just never let it lapse.
Okay.
Ooh.
So I never had to take a driving test.
Wow. There you go.
I did the written. And then, you know, even going state to state, when you go state to state, you only have to take the written as long as your license is current. So, yeah.
There you go. Oh, let's
I never took
let's
a
hope
driving
nobody
test.
from the DMV is listening.
Oh, it's okay. I don't have my license now.
We're like, well, Tammy, looks like we're going to pencil you in at Gladstone at this.
I know, huh?
Oh, that's good. Oh, what are you doing? Hold on a sec. A little staggeredness right now. 1 second. Sorry. I still need to monitor this shit. Eventually, in the future, we're going to get an audio engineer just to do this shit. We're going to get an audio engineer, camera operators, and that way Shelby can just chill there, watch the monitors, and yell at the camera operators from the microphone and be like, "You better vote this fucking thing right now."
We need to blow you up and get you sponsored so that we can get you a bigger space for that.
Working on that. I have some in the works. I have some sponsors in the works right now. It's I have some people that have, sent like merch and shit like that,
Yeah.
It's like, shout out again to Happy Cannabis for
Oh,
providing
yeah.
these dope ass fucking coffee mugs. I drink from these every single episode. And I got some stuff that's in the works right now. And then also we're eyeballing different stuff because like just after this, we're actually going to be going to a fucking meeting to go shoot a commercial for somebody. We're going to go do a location shot. We already got things all basically storyboarded out. We just got to get things like ready and finalized and tweaked out once we get there, and really fucking pumped to do that. How you feeling about that, dude?
I'm stoked.
Are you stoked?
I'm stoked to see this thing finalized. I know it's going to be great.
I know, dude. I'm really pumped to make this. I love making videos. Like, it is so much fucking fun. Like, I love editing. I love shooting video, and I love that I got a partner over here to do it with. Fucking air bump remote right there. We can put a sound effect right there. There we go. We got to put like one of those old kung fu like. I do that all the time when I'm doing show like. Doing all busting out them fucking kung fu noises.
I give myself sound effects through life, so it's okay.
I do it all the time. Just to make myself laugh.
I do too. There won't be nobody around either.
I was acting like a dad before I was even a dad. So I was doing that shit all the fucking time. Oh, that's fucking gross. Great. Gross? Great. Why did I say that? I'm fucking so stoned. I'm going to take a bong hit, actually, real quick.
Oh, yeah. We got that mellow vibes, too.
Oh, that's right. Should we fucking spark one of these up?
Why not?
Let's get one of these. So we got, let's see, Groovy Doobie and another Groovy Doobie for mellow vibes, Mandarin cookies, and pineapple upside down cake. What you feeling?
What?
Mandarin cookies or pineapple upside down cake?
Nah, I don't care. I'm good.
Come on.
Cookies. I love cookies.
Cookies?
Okay.
Let's do it. Pineapple upside down cake it is. I'm just kidding.
Only cookies I get to eat. No.
Hey, what kind do you want? Well, we're not smoking it, so.
You said you were good, so.
Yeah. I was going to bust your balls real quick, but you still can't partake. I'm just kidding. I didn't even bring the weed. I can't make that decision. You should hit this first, actually, Shelby, just because you said you don't want to partake.
Yep.
Here you go.
Okay.
Finish sparking that up. We're going to get Shelby lit before we go to this meeting. What's great, too, is she'll watch this episode.
my girl with cancer, so we had to get hella stoned for her, so.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, definitely. Let's do it. What's her name?
Renee.
Shout out to Renee. We're going to get nice and baked for you. Fuck it. Let's go ahead and smoke all 3 of these on the fucking episodes, like right now. We got you,
There
Renee.
we go.
We got about 12 minutes until we're hitting an hour, not to mention the little tiny break, and we were rolling for a little while anyway, so we got time. It's all good. So tell me, if you could smoke with any celebrity, who would you smoke with? And Shelby, I'm going to ask you this too.
Morgan Freeman.
Now, I think that is a great choice.
I think that he is a very intelligent man.
That would be phenomenal.
And he has lived a long time. And he's done a lot for the community, and he doesn't have to put it out there for everybody to give him credit. Actually, he did. I watched him in a community play. He came out and did a community play in Washington, D.C. when I was a young teenager, and it was A Christmas Story. And yeah, I actually got to meet him and shake his hand.
Who did he play?
He played Ebenezer.
Oh, Christmas Carol.
Or Christmas Carol, yes.
Okay.
A Christmas Carol.
I was
but it
just
was
like,
set in.
please tell me he played the dad.
It was in
A Christmas
nowadays.
Story?
No, it was nowadays times. Yeah, of A Christmas Carol.
Oh, that would be Oh, wow. That's a good answer, and that's one that not a lot of people would pick either. I like that.
And he is a cannabis advocate.
No,
and,
totally. Yeah, totally. A lot of people don't realize that he's actually totally. And also Montel too.
Yes, very much so.
I actually really like Montel's podcast. He has a podcast called Let's Be Blunt.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah,
I did not know
he
that.
talks a lot about medicinal cannabis. You should check that one out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
I
still,
know he's doing
still
awesome
really
with that
involved
MS.
in the scene.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. My sister has MS, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, my sister has MS.
I have a friend on the internet that has MS. I've never met her in person, but
yeah, she's
I've talked to her.
She's been battling that for a hot minute now.
Man.
And she's been doing good as long as she can use cannabis. It sucks though because like she'll need certain things, and then they'll be like, well, you can't have weed in your system, and then then they basically like fucking put it in her head like she's doing the wrong thing. Hold on, I was keeping the rotation going. It's all good.
Yeah, and I've seen that a lot with people where they have to choose between pain meds and cannabis, where, you know, if you let them smoke the cannabis, they might be able to wean off the pain meds.
Well, not only that, even doctors that'll see you in general.
Yeah.
If you even just want to use cannabis, because some of them are just like, nope, not dealing with that, because it's just like, and even with legalization, because it's still federally illegal. Like, it's still not legalized like under federal law, but because we live in the state of Oregon, we're able to use it. You know, and it's fucked and it sucks, and she has to deal with so much bullshit and stuff. And a lot of people don't know about MS too. Not only what your body goes through, but your mind. Like, your mind goes through so much. It can trigger your anxiety, your depression.
Yes.
It can do so many bad things if you're already struggling with these things in general. And especially for those that have dealt with any sort of trauma or any sort of, you know, underlying diseases in general, like, or like I said, any sort of mental disorders. And it's really this fucking watch.
I mean, not to get all, you know, like,
it's
I
really
don't
fucking
like
brutal.
my sob story, but my PTSD, my somewhat agoraphobia. Yeah. Cannabis helps all those things.
Exactly.
And I don't have to take these crazy drugs that make me a zombie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I smoke some weed and it makes me a lot more friendly.
Yeah, same here. Like, and normally when I take tea breaks, and it's like I can function fine, I'm definitely not, I feel like I'm not fully myself in my mind and my soul. I am in my body, but I'm not in my mind and my soul, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can do fine, but I'm a dick. The first like week I have to quit. Like, I am not a fucking fun person to be around because my anxiety is through the fucking roof. Like, it's just like, because like we've talked about, like you've said, it's like filing cabinets, you know, it's like, and for me, it's just like that. But the way I describe it, it's almost like, it's like a hurricane. It's like you're standing in the middle of a fucking cyclone. Gizmo. Normally you hate the smoke, buddy. I don't know why you want to be around it now. It's like you're standing in the middle of a cyclone, and then all of a sudden the cyclone just kind of goes, like, and you're just like, oh, okay, that's what was bugging me. You know, it's like you're in like one of those aquariums that's like surrounding you all of a sudden, you know, but originally you got fucking dizzy and it feels really like a lot, and you have all these things flying at you at the same time, and you're in this cyclone, and then all of a sudden everything just slows down. Yeah. You know, but then it's like the Flash. Is everything slowing down, or are you moving faster?
Good question.
You go ahead and ponder on that for a minute, listeners.
I just won't quit. I've thought about it, and I'm a healthier, happier person, and yeah, I don't want to deal with quitting. Like, there's no reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure, definitely.
No,
I don't want to anymore.
It does limit my opportunities because people still want a drug test.
Exactly. I was just going to say. You were just in my brain. I was going to say that exact same fucking thing because it's like
I can't come to work without that.
Yeah. Right? Like, do you even want me to?
Yeah, you don't want me.
Do you want me to be tolerable when I'm at work?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Do you
want me to like people, or do you want me to?
Right. And and that sucks because I've actually, you know, like as like, you know, things were opening back up and shit, I was applying for more jobs and everything, and they were like, hey, we want to hire you. And I had this really great fucking interview with this really dope company. It's like walking distance from here.
Yep.
And it was like going to be Monday through Friday, great fucking pay. I was going to be on my feet all day long, and I was going to be basically exercising all day long. And they were like, yeah, we really like you, nailed the interview, and they're like, we want to hire you, but we're not THC friendly. And I was like, bro, I got a cannabis podcast. I kind of have to keep smoking. Like,
yeah, no kidding.
I can't even run this show.
Can't be a poser.
No, exactly. I'm not for that at all. I'm not gonna be a poser. Fuck that shit. That's like wearing a band shirt and you don't even listen to the band. You know, it's like, I can't be that way. I can't run this podcast and not get high. No, come on. Here you go, bro. Sorry. It always throws me off when I get past it. Need to move you over this way a little closer, and we need to get you like an extended arm that we can just pass the joint to, and it like retracts back to you.
Can you drive a drone?
We need to have like a retractable arm, right, with a button. Like you could just goes like it just goes and it clicks, like right, and then you just have a little button. We can just you have it, and it opens up, like, and then we can just have it, and it clips down on the joint. And it just pulls it right back to you.
Those little grabbers to get things out of high air.
That's what I was just saying. Like it needs to be one of those grabbers, but it needs to be on a retractable arm.
Yeah.
So you can just like and then you can click a button and it just comes to you. We just need to have some sort of thing on the ground because it'll ash it at the same time when it pulls back fucking fast. Yeah, you got to think ahead sometimes, you know.
What about like one of them Roombas or something, and you could stick an ashtray on it?
Oh my god, a fucking like a little
vacuum, so you're cleaning the floor.
You need to make one that's specifically for passing joints. That would be fucking great. Someone knock on the door.
I think so.
Sounded like it. Does he have a big beard?
No,
Oh, okay.
It wasn't you. No, I've seen your husband on the Facebook picture. So
Oh, okay.
It wasn't him. No, that's why I was looking at first.
He looks a little more mountain man right now because I'm trying to get him to grow his hair back out.
Hell yeah, I love that. That's awesome.
I miss his hair.
That's fucking great. I have to keep my beard like basically like kind of like groomed to a certain way, the way I want it to grow, because my mustache grows really fucking fast. Like it grows really fucking quick.
Yeah.
So I have to keep this down and then keep this kind of longer. And then that's the great thing about having a beard is you can adjust the shape of your face, you know? And I'm one of those guys that's a really round face. Like if this was gone, my chin will just be like flat looking.
It's always funny when I grab it up and it's like, whoa, your face is so much smaller under there.
Right.
Because he's had a beard for so long.
Mm-hmm. What were we talking about? Sorry.
Oh, shit, yeah.
I have no idea. I know we first started the conversation talking about who we'd want to smoke weed with.
Yeah. Smoke weed with.
Okay, so let's go ahead and transition to your answer then.
Yeah.
Okay. I have two for two different reasons. I'm going to murder this name, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Fuck yeah,
Yes,
dude.
Because I would like to get really high and have him blow my mind. And then Peter Dante from Grandma's Boy.
Oh,
Because I feel like he'd be pretty
Great
awesome
choice.
with, yeah.
Great choice.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear the story from Nick Swartzen about him on the set of Grandma's Boy?
No.
Bro, it's a great fucking story, man. So it's one of his stand-up jokes, but I'm going to butcher it, but I'm going to tell the story anyway because it's really fucking funny. I'm not going to tell it like Nick Swartzen does, but he was saying that on the set of Grandma's Boy, they had like, you know, like they couldn't smoke like real weed, you know, and they had like this like fake weed that they were using, and Dante came up to Nick Swartzen and he's like, bro, did you see the fucking weed they gave us? He's like, I'm not gonna smoke this. They gave me fake weed, man. Yeah, and he's like, you know, I'm gonna smoke my own fucking weed.
No shit.
So he brought his own weed to the set. And then they ended up having to do like fucking like a bunch of different takes. Like I can't remember what the number was that he said, but like I think it was like 12 or some shit like that. And the take started with him taking a bong hit. So he had to just take just real bong hits straight to the dome. So when you see it in the movie, he's really taking hits in that fucking scene.
That's
like,
funny.
And then after they were done filming, he comes up to Nick Swartzen. He's like, bro, I can't feel my fucking skull. That's such a great fucking story.
I can't believe they don't let him smoke real weed. How are you going to get real acting?
Unions, federal funds,
stupid.
investors, that's producers, that kind of bullshit.
Get the fuck over it already.
That's why independent's all the way to go now. Because I mean, it's like, do you even really need that shit anymore? I was just listening to an interview with Hobson this morning. Hobson's like one of my favorite rappers, and I was just
my
listening to
husband likes him.
I was listening to him on Impulsive, Logan Paul's podcast.
Yeah.
I was listening to him on there, and he was just talking about like all the different shit he was trying to do, like with Funk Volume at the very beginning, and he had all these different distributors that he feel like he had to use, and these managers and all this other kind of bullshit, and he was just like realized like how many cooks were in the fucking kitchen, you know, and that there was just way too many. There was way too many hands, and then he was just like, you know, we could just do this shit our fucking selves. He's like, what are we fucking doing? You know, it's like, we don't even need to do this. So, I mean, I think independent is really just going to be the wave of the future because we all have computers in our pockets.
Yes.
Like we have self-distribution. If you have the material, I mean, if you have the supply, the demand will buy it.
Yeah.
Like that's just the way life works. You just got to figure out what is your supply because everyone's got something.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're extrovert, introvert, it doesn't matter. Everyone's got something. It's just, what is your supply? That's the hardest thing.
Yes.
It's just figuring out what is it. You know, I think this podcast works really well because I played in bands, I've done film, I've done music, I've done a lot of different things, you know, and it just seems like this is the one that's, I don't know, I'm enjoying the most, you know, so I'm kind of just rolling with it, you know.
I came to the realization that farm life, that's mine. Like getting dirty, working with my hands, working with
I love
animals.
doing that too.
Working with the animals again, and be
animals.
profitable.
I don't have any experience with.
Neither did I, dude. But I had common sense, and that's all it took.
Well, yeah.
And it was one of the most rewarding things I ever did.
You just gotta love them and just understand. You just gotta respect the beast.
I never thought in a million years I would be sitting here waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning and shoveling horse shit. I mean, whoever, growing up in the city and stuff.
Enjoying it,
missing it now. Like,
you good, bro?
Give anything for that life again. So yeah, that's definitely in my future.
We got to keep going.
Oh heck yeah!
Fucking A. Like I said, we're doing good. We got to smoke all this for your homegirl.
Oh hell yeah!
We don't fuck around here on the Hippy Speedball. What's her name again? Renee.
Renee,
salud.
Yep.
Thank you so much for showing so much love. Before we even recorded, I saw that you posted all these episodes, and thank you for freaking showing Dan's the Oops Caught Me Smoking interview I did.
I
Dan
saw that. That was
fucking
really
great.
cool when I stumbled on that.
Dan and Johnny Blaze from freaking the Cloud Chronicles. If everybody, after you're done listening to this, go check out Oops Caught Me Smoking and the Cloud Chronicles podcast.
Yeah.
Great fucking shows to listen to. They're all fucking awesome people, and I've been on both of their shows too. So there's interviews with me on there, and I'm going to have them on. I've done like Smoke Buddy Saturday with the two of them, but I want to have the two of them on whenever we can do it in person. That's what I really want to do. So like right now I'm working on some things to be able to take the show on the road. So that way I can go stop down in Texas where Johnny Blaze is. And then I can go roll up to fucking Michigan. We got to take a little road trip at some point. As a team. How dope would that be? Let's all fucking pile up in the car and just go disappear for like a week. And we'll just go hit the fucking road.
But I didn't know about a lot of these shows until I heard about your show. Yeah. So your show has actually opened my eyes to other shows.
Yeah, there's a whole little wave of all these little weed podcasts. There's also one that's called Medical Mondays that's been around for a little while. I've just recently started listening to them. Thank you, sir. And
you have so many local people, which is what's also interesting. Yes, the famous people are all cool, and these people that get to all over the place. That's awesome.
And that'll come.
But you've got the local people, and that's just as interesting. And sometimes it's more interesting and more captivating, because we have a likelihood of, hey, I've been there before. Oh, I know that person. Oh, I've smoked that farm.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And also it's like, the locals, the local weed shop, it's like, these are the people I love, know? It's like, these are the ones that are loving me. Like, these are the ones that are playing me in the dispensaries. These are the ones that, like, I wouldn't have been recognized from a stranger.
You're one of the reasons I leave the house.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. And it's and I'm glad. Thank you for recognizing that. I appreciate that, because that's one of my main things. And I figure, because as I'm learning more about myself in this whole process and growing the podcast and just kind of doing this whole venture that we're getting onto right now, we're kind of just like, we just got these new cards made, and that's going to be really cool. And we got people playing the show in fucking 3 different shops, soon to be 4. And so now that we're kind of doing this, I'm noticing that my personality is kind of has the ability to carry me in different places. I'm starting to realize this, as it's kind of growing, as people are like, hey, I dig your show.
Yeah.
Like, as people are liking it and stuff. So for that reason is why I want to have so many local people on. Why, whenever someone owns a business, if someone's like, if anybody's listening and they're like, hey, I own this business, I got a fucking little brick and mortar shop, and I got this thing.
Brick and mortar shop that's all women owned and operated.
See, and I'm down for shit like that. I love that.
Yeah, you should swing into Nebula,
because and if
it's on Powell. Oh my goodness, and I'm gonna have a brain fart at the worst time. And I don't have my phone in front of me.
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I know where it's at.
You do? Yeah, Nebula Cannabis, and my girl Trish works there, and That's an all women owned and operated little shop too.
Oh wait, yeah, I know Nebula.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I was zoning out for a second. No, I was listening though. That would be fucking great. I love.
Yeah,
and
you were doing the boss women of cannabis.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that
exactly.
would
I
be
had
another-
I had all women on for
Heck
the
yeah.
entire month of March. You know, like that was freaking Women's Month on Hippy Speedball Podcast. Shout out to all the freaking boss ass ladies that were on that fucking month.
Oh yeah,
that was a really fun month. I learned a lot about all these different freaking people and lots of management styles. Having Lucia on was fucking dope. Yeah. Shout out Lucia, and she brought a bunch of different goodies. And those quantum socks are super comfy. By the way, they're like my favorite socks I've ever owned. So and I'm old, so I appreciate good socks.
Of
but
course.
as I was saying, it's like I'm realizing as we're kind of able to grow this show, in my eyes, if I have the ability to have this personality and this voice that people for some reason like to listen to, I'm surprised by it, but it's true. So I figure if people are listening and people are willing to want to, why not just have all the people that I'm interested in and just be like, hey, people are listening to me. I want them to hear you too. Like, it's like whenever you told me when we were talking in the shop, we were just talking briefly about it. You weren't even like, hey, let me come on your show sometime. We were just talking briefly about your time with medicine in regards to cannabis. And you told me a little bit and I was just like, would you be willing to talk about this on the show? I was like, that would be fucking cool.
I was so nervous as shit.
And thank you so much for doing that. Like,
yeah.
And I feel really honored the fact that you picked this show to kind of be able to come out and say, hey, this is something that I went through, people.
Like I really wish a couple years ago when I went to the Global Cannabis March that I would have been able, had the guts to speak up and say, hey, let me speak, because I've got a good story. And I didn't because I'm still real shy about it and getting up in front of a bunch of people with an audience.
For sure.
Is like,
yeah, definitely. Well, at least here you don't have to have the audience in front of you.
Much more laid back.
Exactly.
But no, I do want people to know it's medicine and it's real medicine.
It is.
I don't feel that all dispensary medicine's what you need, and if you have the means, you should go out and search to make your own medicine, and really research what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
exactly.
It can work. It won't always work, but it's not going to make you feel worse.
For sure, definitely.
It's not going to make you feel worse.
Well, and if you had the ability to do it, and Rick Simpson had the ability to do it, then it's fucking possible. It's possible. And like you said, it might not work for somebody because everybody's cannabinoid system is different.
It is.
And everybody's.
But not every chemo works for everybody.
Exactly, and not every form of chemo, not every fucking whatever treatments that they do. I don't know much about cancer treatment. I've had friends battling cancer. I've had a friend that died of cancer, and I've had family members die of cancer. But I don't know much about everything other than chemo. I only really know of chemo, and there's one other thing that they do. It's like a pill that they give you that's kind of like chemo, but it's not, because it's not the actual radiation, where you go and sit in the room and shit like that.
They also do another radiation too, where they're literally radiating your body, trying to kill the tumor. It's horrible. It kills everything good inside you to kill the bad.
Well, yeah, radiation.
And the way I looked at was, hey, I ain't got nothing to lose, right?
Well, radiation's in fucking space, and they're just blasting it in your fucking body. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's horrible crap.
Joint, and then we'll be done. Like I said, we got to fucking finish this joint for Renee.
Yes.
So what you got planned after this? What you got going on?
I don't know. Probably a lazy day. I'm not sure.
Hell yeah. That's what's up. Yeah, we got a bunch of fucking shit to do. We got to go do that. And we got to go fucking pick up Betsy, go to the fucking meeting, finalize everything, get all that taken care of. I got to play you that beat after we're done with this, by the way. And got to get that going. And then got to come back, and then I got to go fucking somewhere else and pick up a couple other things, and then come back, and I got to work out, and then I got to cook dinner.
I'll be cooking dinner and all that, but.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what I'm going to make tonight. I'm kind of feeling this one dish I make. I haven't made it in a long time. It's called chicken Vesuvio. You ever had that before?
No.
It's one of the very few Italian dishes with no garlic. So if anybody ever tries to quiz you, ooh, what dish doesn't have garlic? You can be like chicken Vesuvio. And traditional carbonara doesn't have garlic, by the way. You're not supposed to have garlic in traditional carbonara.
But I put garlic in everything.
I was going to say,
I do
need
too.
garlic in everything.
I
so
do
don't know
too,
how
but
to
also
make
I don't
garlic.
like the taste of garlic in carbonara though.
Oh,
I don't really care for the taste of it, because when you try it without it, you're like, oh, this is actually much better without it. But chicken Vesuvio, what you do is you Sorry. You cook up some chicken thighs, right? You have some olive oil, heat it up, cook some chicken thighs for a couple minutes on each side just so they're brown, and then dump some white wine in there. That's why it's called Vesuvio, because it's Italian for volcano. And so it just like fucking steams over and shit and gets all big. And so, hold on. You brown it on each side, put the wine in there, and then you take the chicken out. And you have this in like a big pot too that you're using. And you take the chicken out, and you put in some fucking pearl onions and some potatoes. I use Yukon Gold potatoes, and you just dice them up into like quarters, basically, just like nice kind of like decent sized chunks. Yeah. And then you cook those for a couple minutes on each side, just so they're kind of like browning just a little bit on the there. And then you put the chicken back in there, put it in the oven, covered on 350 for like it's like on 375 for like 35 minutes. And then you pull it out, take the cover off, and then you put some frozen or fresh peas in there, and then you dump it in there, put it back in the oven, and then for another 10 minutes, and then you pull it up, and all those juices just cook into the potatoes and the onions get like really soft, so you can just eat them and shit. Oh, it's so fucking good. Chicken Vesuvio, for those who want to check out.
I think I would smother it in Parmesan.
No, yeah, Parmesan's dang.
I put Parmesan in everything.
I actually picked up a fresh fucking triangle of Parmesan.
Oh, right.
Actually, I usually buy like shredded or like shaved Parmesan.
Yeah.
But that was my first time getting like, I don't really ever buy like, like real like cubes of it, or like actual like fucking bricks of Parmesan. And it's so good that way. It's so much sharper, and it's so much better for you too. It is. Speaking of, you're trying keto, right?
Yes.
How's that going?
It's going good. I did it before, so now I know what I'm getting into. But then the holidays hit, and I was making lots of really yummy cheesecakes and stuff, and I just couldn't not eat some. And
holidays
I'm a really, good
tough
cook.
To diet.
I'm a really good cook, and I still try to cook for my husband so that he's he doesn't have a weight issue. He needs his carbs and everything. So I still try to cook for him good. And I lost willpower for a while.
Yeah.
I saw how fast that weight comes back, and I was not happy, not feeling healthy. So back on it.
Oh my God. Like, like for sure. It fucking, like I was telling you earlier, like my body is so like insulin sensitive. So that's why, for those that were watching on the last episode, that's why I looked so large. I had a very, very large meal for the last few days.
Oh yeah.
And like I had not been eating right, a little bloated. I promise I don't look that big in real life, by the way. She can actually vouch for that. She's seen me a billion times. She's here right fucking now.
I even said that though. I was like, what's like, wrong?
Yeah, I looked a lot fucking bigger in that episode. I watched that and I was like, good God.
Oh yeah, but I mean, if I eat carbs or God, now I've noticed milk. And
there's a ton of sugar in milk. If you look, there's so much sugar in milk.
And I used to love milk so much.
Yeah.
But heavy whipping cream doesn't do it to me, but milk. Oh, God,
because there's no sugar in heavy whipping cream. It's amazing. Like, and I'm one of those people that I need something in my coffee because I just don't care for the taste of black coffee.
Yeah,
it's
neither.
It's a little bitter for me.
Too.
I just can't do it unless I'm camping. For some reason, when I'm camping, my palate is totally different. Like I can eat things I don't normally eat, and my stomach takes it differently. It's like my body knows, hey, we're camping now. We're gonna eat campfire coffee, and you drink campfire coffee black. And that's like, so that was fine. But
I'm good.
You good? You sure?
No, I'll a little bit more.
Like I said, we got it. But yeah, I'm one of those people. But switching to heavy whipping cream was a fucking game changer for me because it still has like that velvety texture that I like.
Me too.
But it doesn't have any sugar at all. And I just usually put like a teaspoon in there.
No. I was bad. And that's where I've had to cut back is I was like a lot. And then I realized, oh crap, look at all these fucking calories. What am I doing? So now I've had to cut back and it's gotten better.
Oh, that's
I've done that. And then I've joined 3 challenges in May to raise money for cancer too. So I'm doing
nice.
Yeah, I'm doing 31 miles for breast cancer. I'm doing 40 miles, walking 40 miles for colorectal cancer, and for the Cancer Association, and then I am doing 2,021 squats for colorectal cancer.
Damn, that's a lot. So that's
it's not that bad when you break it down.
I was gonna say it's 70 miles through the month. and then 2,000 squats, 2,200.
Yeah, I'm upping that, and I'm going to put my all into it and see how many steps I can get, because I have to be honest, I usually walk about 100 miles a month anyway.
Yeah.
With my steps.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm upping it and giving it my all, just like I did with the squats. I did 66, which is what my daily
You're like,
allotment
fuck
would
that.
be.
I'm going to run 70 miles.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm a survivor, so I'm going to put my all in, to show my support for other people battling, or the people that didn't make it, or the people that can't walk right now. So, yeah, there's all these challenges on Facebook, and
I've always wanted to do a
I
hood to
vetted them
coast.
and joined them. So,
I've always wanted to do a hood to coast.
oh, me too. My knees probably couldn't.
That would
do
be fucking cool. For those that don't know, there's a big fucking
I could walk it.
race that goes. Yeah, you could. You technically could. Yeah, you can totally walk the hood to coast. So people do it all the fucking time.
I definitely couldn't run.
Yeah, there's a big like race marathon sort of thing over here. I don't know if you would call it a marathon. I don't think it is. Is it? I thought a marathon has to be a certain length.
I don't know.
Would it be? What is it? Can you look that
I
up?
think a marathon is a certain length.
Yeah, I think so. I know a
mean, it's a
triathlon
certain-
is 3 events. I know that, and so because that would be like
It's a relay.
It is a relay.
Yeah, it is a relay.
Yeah, it is a relay. Like, I would want to do the whole fucking thing. And so for those
Me
that don't know,
too.
it's from Mount Hood to the Oregon coast.
A marathon is a long-distance running race, strictly one of 26 miles, 385 yards.
Okay. Damn, that's very, very specific.
Yeah.
Yes, that is.
300. What a dick. Whoever threw that last 385 yards, they were like,
I know.
This isn't long enough. Let's go ahead and
I
throw this
know.
extra 3 and a half football fields length.
You've already ran 26 miles, but now I want to see you push. That
I know.
last 385 yards.
Just in case you were only training for 26 miles. Or however many miles it was.
No kidding.
So the Hood to Coast, was that just be considered just like a race then? Like, because I don't think it's technically like a race. Like, you don't get anything if you win.
Yeah, but Hood to Coast would be still a marathon. It's
Yeah.
definitely more than 26 miles.
I was going to say it's more than
Yeah,
26.
it's definitely- Oh.
I thought that was strictly
Oh, no,
26.
Yeah.
So would it technically be one? I don't.
A double marathon, triple marathon.
Dude, that would be like a fucking like a quintuple marathon.
God,
dude.
yeah.
Like, that's a long fucking ways, dude. Mount Hood to the Oregon coast. That's like pretty decently east of Portland to all the way as west as you can go. For those that
Yeah.
aren't here, because most of the listeners are actually from outside Oregon.
It'd be an endurance race.
What's?
It would be an endurance race.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Okay, an endurance race. Yeah, that would be a thing. That sounds so intimidating. We done with that?
Yes, sir.
Oh, we did it!
Yes.
Fuck yeah, we smoked fucking 3 joints. 3 joints on the podcast. That's
Heck
what's
yeah.
up. Thank you so much for bringing
Of
those.
course.
That's awesome.
No problem.
Hell yeah. Let's go ahead and sign off on this. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Shelby, for everything you've been doing. My partner,
Yes.
Shelby, over there.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Help us sign off. And thank you for fucking
Thank you for
coming
having
through.
me.
Salute. Thanks for coming. Thank you for sharing your story again.
Yes,
like I said, I
thank
feel very,
you.
very honored that you came through on the show and you wanted to do this. And all your support and everything you do really means the world to us.
Oh, yeah.
Being played in the shop is like a really big badge of honor for us, like to walk in there and see our work being up there. And you were really one of the ones that jump started that. So I really want to personally thank you again.
Of course.
Thank you
I
again.
love what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We're just going to try to keep on going. We're just going to try to keep it going, keep that weed friendly content and just keep on being the show where people can come and smoke and just come and hang out and do the fucking thing, and then eventually do our stuff. And thank you
Yeah.
everybody for tuning in to the Hippy Speedball Podcast. It is Joe, your host with the most, Joe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.